This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everyone. Here we are again. It's Thursday. Glad to be alive. Glad to be here with you. We're at KCYP, The City, 97.7 FM. We're here in the McAllen Creative Incubator. When they say creative, they mean it. So we're going to have a bunch of youngsters out there rock and rolling. So hopefully it won't go too far into our studios here. But I can say that we'll work it out regardless. Anyway, if you're thinking about getting your kids enrolled, this is a great place. Photography, artistry, sketches, right? Music, everything, that kids want to get into creatively, right? Bring them on down. Email me, bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. I'll hook you up with all the right people and get you some info. So right now I'm going to dial into our feed here so that I can get, there we go. Oh, look at that handsome guy right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up so I can see comments. Chucky! Thanks, Chuck. He likes the shirt. This is a Father's Day gift, ladies and gents. A Father's Day gift. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate your how would you say, your astute eye, if you will. So, along all these things that we have to talk about today, we're always going to do our barometer, so to speak, barometer check, which is the important things in life. First important thing is God. Let's not ever forget him because, well, our lives will be kind of like the U.S. economy. We don't want that. So, gold, ladies and gents, 1,922 today during show prep. Silver, $22.48. Now, we've gone over this before. You're not going to get a coin of silver, a bar of silver, or anything of silver for $22.48 an ounce because, well, it's worth a heck of a lot more than that. So, you're going to pay a high premium. Call me. We'll get into it. All right? bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. We'll talk about it. Bitcoin. Whoa! $30,136 as of show prep. What happened? We'll get into it. So they're at 26 a couple days ago. Anyway, your average mortgage rate keeps creeping up, as we knew it would. So a 30-year rate, if you lock in, will be 7.8% on average. 7.08%. But every little bit counts in these markets. 15-year rate, if you can close in on one of those, is 6.47%, okay, for a 15-year rate. So, mortgage rates are going up. If you've watched once, you've watched twice, whatever, that there are a lot of people out there. One of them, my favorite, is the Economic Ninja. And he is basically telling us if you want to buy a house, a rental property, hang on. Wait for autumn, wait for the fall time, because by that time more banks will have fallen and the interest rates, if not fallen, then the price of the underlying asset will have fallen sufficiently so that we can scoop up some good deals if you have the money for that kind of stuff. And again, if you don't, and I'm no financial advisor, I did not go to school. In fact, one of my favorite sayings is that my shadow has never darkened the doorstep of any institution of higher learning. Yet I'm here. Anyway, so gold, silver, Bitcoin. If you can't afford land, that's, in my opinion, what I've been looking at, what I've been studying for a few years now. Yeah, there you go. And we can argue about it if you want. Throw in a comment here. Richard, good to see you, Richard. Glad to see that you're watching. Throw us your opinion if you want. Real estate, gold, silver, Bitcoin. These I mention over and above your 401k or whatever it is that you're traditionally invested in, because I personally don't believe that real estate, gold, silver, or Bitcoin will go to zero. I cannot say the same for your or my 401k. I just can't say it because it's tied into this system. Okay, it's tied into this back-breaking, normal person-breaking, debt-based system, this evil system, okay? But there are some people out there that have already broken out of it, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. First, talking about some crypto news, right? This is from CoinDesk, big news outlet in the crypto world. Bitcoin breaks 30,000 amid TradFi push into crypto. TradFi, what is TradFi? Traditional finance, okay? So traditional finance entities such as BlackRock, Fidelity, things like that, firms like that, right? The usual suspects, for sure. They are moving in on crypto. I have a very strong opinion that you will not be lacking in a moment about that. So according to the article here from CoinDesk, Bitcoin has broken 30,000 for the second time this year amid bullish sentiment in the market following a number of traditional finance, TradFi, players pushing further into crypto. Maria, good to see you. It seems that the crypto market is going to be completely restructured in the country. These people are with bated breath, okay, because they're afraid of cryptocurrency the way it is right now because it's free. My opinion. Free, meaning not free as in financially free, but free from major restrictions and regulations. So, Ruslan Lenka, the chief of markets at Web3 crypto and fiat service, U-Hodler, okay? So this guy, thinking, talking head, says that the crypto market is going to be completely restructured, he says. He hopes. Why? Because they want to bring it under wraps, ladies and gents. Noah, good to see you, Noah. Hope you get something out of the show today. Contribute if you'd like. So, in my opinion, guys like this Ruslan, right? So he's in TradFi, traditional finances. They need to bring the crypto verse, if you will, cryptocurrency markets under their umbrella. What does that mean? They're going to make it or try to make it. I do not think they're going to succeed. They're going to try and make it just like gold and silver is. So when I read off earlier that gold is at $1,922 an ounce, silver $22.48 an ounce, those are fictitious values. Why? Because the US dollar underlying that statement of 1922 and $22.48 an ounce, gold and silver respectively, that underlying asset, the US dollar, since its inception has lost 98% of its value. Why? In short, because it was meant to. It's not a system for you and me. It's for the rats. It's for the usual suspects. The people that want to rule every aspect of your life, ladies and gents. They steal from us on a daily basis, both overtly and covertly. They steal from us when they confiscate our wages in confiscatory, fictitious, unconstitutional, by the way, income taxes, okay? That's a direct tax. It's prohibited by the Constitution. There are only two types of people in this country that must, absolutely must, by law, pay income taxes. The first type, they have to live in Washington, D.C., which is not a state. Second type, they derive a paycheck from Washington, D.C., okay? Some of us, we have to pay income tax. But if you work for Home Depot, if you work for Walmart, if you work for Joe's hardware store, ladies and gents, I'm here to tell you what the IRS does not want you to know. And you can test me on this. I will give you info. I will point you in the right direction. bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. I will talk to you about this. I will point you in the right direction. Get you in the sphere of experts, as it were. So, Mikey, good to see you. Sue, glad to see you here. Contribute if you want. Throw some stuff out there to us. They're stoking up the guitars again out there. I'm a lover of rock and roll. So they're creative incubator here, ladies and gents. So they're stoking up some rock and roll out there. They're beginners. We'll just see what happens. Hopefully the audio will be fine and clean for you. Anyway, so that's what I think they want to do, and that's one of the reasons for this uptick in Bitcoin is that traditional finances is drooling because BlackRock and I think it's Fidelity have put applications in with the SEC, the crooked organization, the Security and Exchange Commission. Think kind of, FBI, but for finances. That's how corrupt they are. So what they want to do is create an index, create an ETF, right? And what that does in the gold and silver markets is that allows them to tank it from the, I guess you could say the paper. They used to say paper side, but we know it's all digital. But in the instance of silver, we'll go with that example. What they do is on the futures markets, they heavily invest in put options or put contracts selling. So as you sell, it depresses the price because it artificially shows that a lot of people want to sell the underlying asset, in this case silver. So the markets will report a price valuation, okay, which is two things. Price, we'll get into that another time. A valuation that is well below the true value of the underlying asset, in this case silver. So they want to do the same thing to Bitcoin, okay? That is what all this is about, and they're licking their chops because they think they might have it. They're a bunch of yahoos, ladies and gents, a bunch of yahoos. They're not going to be able to do it. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Crypto exchange backed by Citadel Securities, another usual suspect. Fidelity, Schwab, there we go, Rogues Gallery, ladies and gents, starts operations, okay? EDX Markets, a cryptocurrency exchange backed by Citadel Securities, Fidelity, the ones I just told you, recently launched, quietly beginning to execute trades in the past few weeks. The platform aims to differentiate itself by operating as a non-custodial, I'll get to that in a minute, exchange, thus not directly handling customers' assets. Okay? So it's going to be more of a trade, but it won't be peer-to-peer. Oh no, we are not peers to BlackRock. We are not peers to Fidelity. We are not peers to any of those people. Okay? I view them as scum of the earth. Okay? And many other patriots do too. They view us as less than human. Take me up on that. I can back this up. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. Waylon, good to see you, Waylon. Hope all is well with you, brother. So, what we're seeing now is a concerted effort on the part of the traditional finance, again, usual suspects, the people that have been ripping us off for generations. They're trying to get into crypto because they want to be able to control it, not because, and probably attempt to destroy it. Ladies and gents, this is not going to happen, but I want to let you know that this is where they're going. I am your, how would you say, unofficial translator when it comes to news like this. So, okay, on to other news. This is from the Gateway Pundit. The vote passes the House of Representatives, and they censure Adam Schiff. Shifty Schiff. This one comes from DC Drano. So the author of this, ladies and gents, the author of this, in my opinion, a fighter, a patriot. Her name is Ana Paulina Luna. Okay? She's like, I think 7 months pregnant right now. She's a 34-year-old veteran, right? So this is from DC Drano. If you do Twitter, DC Drano's worthy of your following. So he says, this is Florida Rep Luna, the author of the Adam Schiff censure bill. It's her first term, and she isn't there to play nice, which is good. Can't play nice with criminals, Republicans or Democrats. When her Schiff censure died last week, she didn't quit. She punched back and refiled, right? So she's a gun fan. She's a gun rights supporter, all that good stuff. But she's tough, man. She's tough. Look her up, Ana Paulina Luna. Okay. Just, we need people like that in the representation arena of government, okay? We need people that are going to fight, okay? What is a censure of this criminal Adam Schiff guy? It's not a lot, right? But it's a start. It's a start. And you get to see everyone's vote, okay? So we're going to go into this IRS whistleblower in a little bit. But we can see that every single Democrat, and that doesn't mean that your friendly neighborhood Republican is a good guy. It just means that they didn't vote this way. But every single Democrat, good, bad, or indifferent, voted not to allow any of the whistleblower information to come to light because they don't want you to see it for obvious reasons. So yeah, the vote was 213 to 209. Oscar, glad to see you can make it, Oscar. So, Schiff is the third congressperson to this century to face formal rebuke, which is, that's great. He needs more. Justice must be served, and it will be. Here's something that we've been talking about for, not here on this show, but that Coast Guard is trying to rescue and then failed the submarine. Ladies and gents, it's sad. It is sad that people lost their lives. I'm not going to make light of it. What I would like to do, however, is use this as an example of how the usual suspects in media, how they use an event that is, and I won't say, again, please, I'm not minimizing this. I won't say that it's not a tragedy, and I won't say that it's not sad, because it is. But I'll bet you, I'd be willing to bet that there are 6 or 8 people that are not billionaires that died within the time period that this has been reaching headlines. I'm pretty sure. And they never reached headlines. Okay? So all that to say that part of what it is that these people do is obfuscate, they distract, they do things that will make people like you and I shift our focus from important things, okay? Like what's going on with our economy, like what's going on with the criminality, the criminal cartel that runs the U.S. government nowadays, right? These types of things that we should be focusing on, learning more about, okay? So they want us to lose focus on that, which is why we have this Titan submarine. Now, it's not a good thing, of course, but I just wanted to, they said it was an implosion, okay? So it's over. I don't know how long they're going to try and stretch it out, but unfortunately, everyone on board is, not with us anymore. So the next story is about a whistleblower. So the Hunter Biden whistleblower, he basically said that he has evidence that Biden demanded payment from his Chinese business associate over a text message, this is Hunter, while Joe Biden was sitting right next to him. The IRS whistleblowers, okay, this is Breitbart. So the IRS whistleblowers told lawmakers at the Justice Department to block search warrants and cover up Hunter Biden's tax crimes. One IRS whistleblower revealed Hunter Biden demanded payment from his Chinese business associate over WhatsApp. Okay, ladies and gents, when I say that our government is corrupt, I'm talking about the central apparatus, okay? I know FBI agents. They live here in the Valley. These are boots on the ground, honest men and women that want to stop crime. They do their job well. They have a passion for it, and they're good at it. I know them personally. Some I've known for years. So when I come off about the FBI, when I come off about the IRS, the ATF, and all these extra constitutional law enforcement agencies, because they're not, the Constitution doesn't mandate such things. The Constitution mandates customs. It mandates the Border Patrol. It mandates that the federal government is in charge of the border. It mandates the Treasury, okay, the issuance of and security of the currency of the land. Rico, good to see you, Rico. These are the things that the Constitution says the federal government is responsible for enforcing, the laws by which should be enforced by the federal government. ATF, no. FBI, no. CIA, definitely not. Okay? Parks and Rec, no. None of those, ladies and gents, none of them are mandated constitutionally. That's why I call them extra constitutional. They are not in the Constitution. They were a construct of some politician that decided they wanted to control an agency that controls some aspect of your life. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, all those things are legal under the Constitution. But somewhere, somehow, someone wanted to control this for their own profit and to control an aspect or multiple aspects of your life. Okay? Extra constitutional, because that's not what the founding fathers were all about. That's not what they wanted for us. That's not what they wanted, for you and me. Okay? They wanted freedom. They wanted the ability for you and I to live the way we see fit, as long as we don't intersect or in any way step on someone else's rights. But government is not about that, ladies and gents, and you know that. So, here's another one. This is good news, ladies and gents. This is good news. So I actually saw this video. If you subscribe to Trump or Truth, it might as well be Trump, right? But if you subscribe to the Truth Social app, you'll see a lot of these videos that Donald Trump puts up. And what he's trying to do is the problems that we have, the essential and myriad problems we have in this United States, many of them can be solved easily. And what he does is he puts out these public service announcements so that he's telling you, this is how I will go about fixing this. It's not a mystery, ladies and gentlemen, that the current iteration of criminals in Washington want us to think that, there's no solution for this. It's a quagmire that came from mysterious parts, and we're trying to figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with us. No, there are easy solutions to this. Okay, let me retrace that. There are simple solutions. They might not be easy because there may be pain involved. Okay. So you get shot by a bullet, you got nothing, man. You got to cauterize that thing. You stick who did that? Rambo, I think, did that. Anyway, see, even Joe saw that one. I don't think Joe and I would really like to do that to each other. That I wouldn't cauterize your wounds because I think that would be so harsh, But anyway, I digress. So the fact of the matter is, it's going to be simple but not easy. The solutions are simple, and Donald Trump is going over them. He's showing people that there are solutions to this. What is the solution he's talking about? In this case, it's called impoundment. I had not heard about this. Okay, I didn't know about this, and I'm the first one to admit that my ignorance is fairly large. It's pretty big, but it did encompass at one time impoundment. Now it doesn't. Okay, because now I know what it's all about, and I agree with what he's saying. Here he goes. So this is out of Breitbart. Donald Trump vows to slash inflation deficit by reviving impoundment. So come to find out that for about 200 years in our country, they had such a thing that was attached to the executive branch, the presidency, called impoundment. What it entails is an ability of the president, the executive, to set aside funds that have been, underallocated. So if there's a little bit extra or a lot extra in the budget that didn't get spent, the president could impound that amount in a separate fund, okay? And after he impounds this, he can then either set it aside for the next year's budget, which would mean having to suck up less taxes, okay, from the populace, you and me, or he could just give it back directly. So, well, you're like, what the hell happened to impoundment then? So here's the article. Former President Donald Trump vowed Tuesday to use a now limited presidential power known as impoundment to slash the deficit. For 200 years, I just went over that, right? According to the Government Accountability Office's GAO, an impoundment is any action or inaction by an officer or employee of the federal government that precludes obligation or expenditure of budget authority. And all that to say that you don't have to spend it. Okay? What's going on now? We could draw a really close parallel to this now with the fiasco in Ukraine. Oh, we made a budgeting error. We made a financial error in favor of $6.1 billion. But did that error work in favor of Americans? No. Does it even work in the favor of Ukrainians? No. Ukrainians aren't going to see an extra potato out of this. They're not going to get an extra MRE. Ukrainians are going to keep dying like they've been dying because the same subjects took over their nation in 2014. That murderous John McCain was in on it, okay? You see these people. You see what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. They want to do it here. But thank God we have the Second Amendment. Thank God above. We have the ability to defend ourselves from tyranny. Let us not ever lose it. So, in Ukraine, or in the United States, which might as well be Ukraine, okay? what they're doing is they're making these errors that are not really errors. They probably meant it for this. So if they overcharged by whatever, in this case 6.1 billion, I think it was, and whoa, the numbers were recalibrated to show that we evaluated this at a greater value than what it really is. So we've got a surplus. They call it 6 point something billion. Under this impoundment that Donald Trump says that he wants to revive, it died in 1974. They killed it. Politicians did, of course. So under this impoundment, what a good president could do, and I in no way implicate Joseph Biden as a president, much less a good one. However, a good president could impound that. So under a good president, and please don't think that these two things are not corollary. Don't think that a guy like Donald Trump is not going to jump on an opportunity and allow us to make these connections. Okay? So under a good president, that president would grab that 6.2 billion and either give it back directly to the taxpayers or cut it off of what the taxpayers are going to pay the next year. One of those two things. Or even, invest in infrastructure, whatever. Something useful, okay? Something useful instead of sending it to a criminally operated playground for the parasite class, which is called Ukraine, okay? So that more and more innocent people can die, so that more and more biowarfare labs can be constructed, and more of our tax dollars can be laundered and come back into the same politicians' pockets here in the U.S. Again, ladies and gents, bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. If you want to argue with me, if I'm not gonna yell and go, I won't. I'm telling you, I won't. I'm not about that. I'm about showing you what I've learned. And if you have anything you want to show me that, hey, controverts it or whatever, gives me more, shed some more light on the subject, I'm open to it. I don't pretend to know everything, but I do know these things are happening, and I want everyone to know this. Why? Because you can prepare yourself now. We're at the edge of this, okay? We're at the precipice. We're looking over. We have the opportunity to take action for ourselves and our families. We can do it. There's time right now. There is time. We're in the thick of it. Well, it's going to be, depend on my neighbor time, okay? But right now, we can do these things. Hence, the Bitcoin Otter Show. Zero Hedge. Mania hits used farm equipment as combine prices hit record. So, the used farm equipment market is blowing up. So here's what they say in the article. The cost of farm equipment continues to soar, and it's not just fancy new tractors and combines with all the bells and whistles like GPS, automotion, remote operations, sensors, diagnostics, etc., but also ones that are 1 or 2 decades old with fewer microchips. Very key concept here. Key, and I'll get into it in a second. Most likely reason is that farmers are ditching new high-tech tractors with higher capital and maintenance costs. That's obvious. That's the upfront reason, right? It's widely known in the farming community that older tractors have less technology, which makes it easier to work on and repair faster. So, if it's costing them more for new equipment, and it's costing them more because we know under inflation, all things cost more. So if it costs them more for new farm equipment, and it costs them more for even used farm equipment, where do you think that higher cost is going to go? Who in the end is going to pay that higher cost? They have to pass it on, ladies and gents. You're going to see it in HEB. You're going to see this. When I read these, Mania hits used farm equipment market, I immediately think, wow, my groceries are going up, right? Isn't that logical? Same thing with farming equipment, trucking equipment. If it costs more to ship these things to us, you can't expect that the shipping line is going to carry all those costs. They're going to pass that on to who? To you and to me. That's where all these extra charges go. They can lie about inflation all they want. All you have to do is go to a gas pump or a grocery store and you can see it. Okay? Oh, here's something interesting. And let me make this caveat first. If you want to do whatever you want to do in your house, your apartment, your land, whatever, with any consenting adult, I don't care. You've been given free will by God. You live your life to the best of your ability. I am not your judge by any stretch. You believe what you want to believe. You do what you want to do, as long as it's a consenting adult. Do what you want to do. I say all that to say this. An LGBTQ activist is stumped by a question. See, this is a question that would never stump you or I. I know I couldn't stump Joe. What is this question? Does she believe that there's any difference between men and women? She was stumped by this, ladies and gentlemen. Utterly stumped. Couldn't give an answer. Difference? Men? Women? Difference? So, in this particular hearing, there was a woman named Riley Grimes. She was a teammate, a swimmer of Leah, and I can't remember the last name, but it's this biological man that declared himself a woman and then swam collegiate swimming in a collegiate swimming, I think it was a UCAA or an NCAA school. So what Riley Gaines was there for is to be a subject matter expert, so to speak, that, hey, do you think that males have an advantage over females in sports? Now, of course, I don't know if you remember, but there was a boys 14 and under soccer team that beat the national team, the women's national team that went to the Olympics. 14 and under, and they beat the women's national team, okay? There is a difference. Now, someone who goes into college, pays them a lot of money or gets maybe a scholarship, and you and I pay a lot of money for their education in, let's say, gender studies, they're not going to know the difference of a man and a woman. They won't know these simple things because, frankly, it's been washed out of their brain. The notion has just completely escaped them because the conditioning was so strong that they can't see reality from myth anymore. But that's not our problem. Or is it? If they keep going, yeah, but they're not going to keep going. The biggest monetary shock in 52 years. This is Zero Hedge, I believe. The biggest monetary shock in 52 years. So, it was recently revealed that the so-called BRICS nation countries will announce the creation of a new currency at its annual Leaders Summit conference on August 22 through 24. Okay? So this here says BRICS Plus. Let me go over this. BRICS, B-R-I-C-S. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are BRICS nations. They have been recruiting more nations because at least ostensibly what they want to do is they want to change the worldwide structure of international dealings, business, finance, etc., from a unipolar, meaning the US dollar and the Federal Reserve System, which sits atop it. They want to change it from unipolar to multipolar, meaning that everyone in the world gets a say. Who could imagine that? We are on the opposite side of where we would like to be, freedom lovers. We are on the opposite side of that. So the BRICS nations have been growing. I don't know if you knew this or not, but López Obrador, the president of Mexico, has officially applied for Mexico to enter into the BRICS nations. And they're our neighbor. So, right now I think the BRICS nations are around 30 to 40 of them. And here I go with this. This will be the biggest upheaval in international finance since 1971. What happened? Gee, what happened in 1971? Can anyone say the criminal banking cartel took us off the gold standard? I can say that. Yeah. So that led to an almost immediate decrease in value of the US dollar, and it's only been faster and accelerated year after year. So the US dollar is going firmly and quickly into the crapper. So what will accelerate that trip to the crapper? The BRICS nations announcing that they are going to create a new currency. Why? Because chances are they're going to back it with gold or some solid asset. So this is what the author says here. Quite simply, the world is unprepared for this geopolitical shockwave. Not us. We're ready. Why? Real estate, gold, silver, Bitcoin. I mean, we could probably just real estate, gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate. Okay? We're going to be prepared, right? So, it appears likely that the new BRICS Plus currency will be linked to a weight of gold. This plays to the strengths of BRICS members, Russia and China. You better believe it does. These countries are the two largest gold producers in the world. Ding, 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 ding. This is why, and they're not telling you, the Federal Reserve banks are stocking up on gold hand over fist, if you will. And are ranked, this is Russia and China, and are ranked 6th and 7th respectively among the 100 nations with gold reserves. One difficulty in considering the impact of the new BRICS currency on the dollar is that all dollar indexes compare currency to currency. This is important, ladies and gents. These dollar indexes are fictitious, just like the index of gold and silver. They are rating the value of a real asset against a fake fiat currency, backed by nothing. Okay? So the indexes, the financial indexes in this country, this corrupt, currently, country, okay, only compare currency to currency. So they compare fiat to fiat. They compare nothing to nothing. Right? But that's meaningless since the dollar, euro, and sterling could all suffer from a loss of confidence at the same time. If gold goes from 2,000 to 10,000, ding, 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 per ounce, that is better understood as an 80% devaluation of the dollar. This, ladies and gents, and again, bitcoinouter.media@gmail.com, I can email you all this stuff. I want you to be prepared for you and your families, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to be prepared for what is obviously coming. It's not just me, ladies and gents. And it's certainly not the forefront. I am not on the van of this, okay? I'm not a trailblazer by any means. I just have to do something and I have to say something because I feel that God is warning me and I want to warn friends, family, neighbors. That's why I do what I do. That's why I have the Bitcoin Outer Private Membership Association. That's why I have it. It's a nonprofit, okay? We have a belief in God and we are covered under over 508 tax laws. 508. Okay? Call me. Talk to me. I can help you with these things. Anyway, that's a collapse of confidence, but you'll miss it if you're looking at euros or yen because they're all going to go down. If they only rate against other fictitious currencies, you will miss the fact that they are rating in the crapper. They should be rating themselves against something, in this case, a gold-backed currency, and then you'll see how bad it is. Those currencies will all be collapsing at the same time, says the article. There you have it. Okay, I've got one more. Okay, got one more. Nearly 7 o'clock. I appreciate all of you that have stuck with me for this time, and I appreciate the fact that for all of you that are watching afterwards, we get a lot of watches, a lot of views, I should say. I'm hopefully going to revamp my sponsorship brochure, so that you can, help sponsor us and get some advertising for your company out here, right? We average probably about 150 to, I think our high was like 300 views on Facebook. So I'm not counting YouTube, and I'm not counting the KCYP 97.7 YouTube and Facebook pages. So we're getting some fairly good views, and most of you are on my Facebook page, and I follow you and you follow me on Facebook, so you know who we are and the potential for good business there. So I'll be pushing that out. It's very reasonably priced, and we can hopefully keep this going for a long time. On the last one, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of good news, and you might have construed some of the things that I said earlier as bad news, but in reality, if we prepare for this stuff, it's going to be good news, ladies and gents, for you, your family, and the country to have people like us coming out of this mess. Because when we come out of this mess, we have to help people get back on their feet again. That's why I have a nonprofit. I want to help people get back on their feet again, because this is not going to be good, especially for the TV watchers. I digress. One Minnesota shop class teacher is bringing his real-world business experience to the classroom, helping prepare students for future careers. Get this one, guys. This is pretty cool. This is under the Fox Good News section. Retired auto shop owner. You want to give back? If you know something, if you have a career knowledge, a wide base of knowledge, you want to give back, you teach kids. Right? So instead of teaching these little boys that they can be girls and the little girls that they should be boys, instead of doing that stuff, we can teach them how to be men and women in the real world. And that's what this guy's doing. Retired auto shop owner brings business to the classroom for real world teaching. Perfection is expected, he says. These guys are going to be out there in the real world shortly. They need to know what it's like on the job. So, long story short, this guy treats his shop class like he's the owner and they're the employees. He shows them the inner workings of what it takes to be a business employee, a business manager, and a business owner. This sets our kids up for success, ladies and gentlemen. It shows them the way things run in the outside world. It doesn't coddle them. It doesn't create safe spaces so that their feelings are never hurt. It doesn't do these things. It prepares them for real life, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we need. And I salute this retired auto shop owner for going back into academics to teach real world, valuable information to kids that are going to need it. They're going to need it because we're living in a clown world and it's going to get upended sooner or later. And I think that's good news because we as Americans and hopefully internationally people of the world are going to experience a freedom that we have not experienced perhaps ever. That's my belief. I'm optimistic. Again, bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. I'll tell you why I believe. Brian, good to see that you hopped on. We're about to sign off here, but I want to let you know, all of you, that the underlying battle we face is not a physical one. It's a spiritual battle. Good versus evil. Sounds cliche, sounds simple, but the fact of the matter is, there are evil forces beyond our ability to control that are coming against us. That's the bad news. What's the good news, Otter? The good news is we know the King of Kings. We know the Lord of Lords. We know the boss. He will not abide a loss. He gave his life for you, for me. He's not going to lose us. If we put our faith in him and we accept the gift that he offers us, and I'm talking about Jesus Christ, and you know I am. If we connect with him, we have connected with the ruler, the creator of the universe, and he will not lose. No matter what happens here politically, no matter what happens here in some sort of nuclear conflagration or whatever you want to call it, we're going to win. Why? Because he's winning. He's going to win. So I want to let everybody know that as we close out. God is good, God is great, and we can be on his side. That is our hope. I don't put my hope in Republicans or Democrats or Donald Trump or any other human being. It would be squandered there. Am I optimistic that they're going to do good things? In some cases, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, I have staked my eternal life, and we will live forever, ladies and gentlemen. Second law of thermodynamics for you science buffs. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So, We will live forever. We have the choice of deciding where it is we're going to live. And God's giving us that every single day, ladies and gentlemen. Let us not squander it. As we have breath, let us speak it for the Lord. Let us show people and tell people what side we're on. Because we have to choose sides, ladies and gentlemen. This is a war of good versus evil. We must choose sides. We cannot be fence sitters. And then, when it's time, we must lift our neighbors up. They're going to need us. They're going to need strong thinking people, clear thinking people, people that can help. And that's going to be you and me. So I'm going to sign out here from the KCYP, the City, 97.7 FM studios in the McKellen Creative Incubator. I'm going to sign off on the Bitcoin Otter Show, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all, and I wish blessings on you all and your families. May you do well, may you be well, may you prosper, because those are God's plans for you and for me. Amen, brothers and sisters. Have a great week. Talk to you next week. See you Thursday.
Let's go! This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.